Then he licked my knuckles. It threw me. This wasn't some bachelor party or frat gig, and even then, in a decade of supporting myself as a working magician, I had been patted, grabbed, groped, and kissed, even punched once, but never licked. No one else seemed to notice. I wiped my hand on my pants and reminded myself that on my feet were a new pair of 4-inch leopard print stilettos that replaced the red leather heels I'd lovingly worn into the ground. The rest of my outfit was less flashy. Pencil pants, white tuxedo shirt left open at the collar, well-tailored black jacket. But even simple clothes cost money, and tonight's show paid for a new pair of shoes and half a month's rent. I took a breath and got the deck of cards from the table behind me, shuffled them a few times, fanned them out. "Pick a card, Lou," I said, predicting he would select the very top or bottom card on the off chance it would mess me up. He chose the top card. Not that it mattered. In fact, the trick itself was the epitome of simple. Card selected, shown to the audience, returned to the deck, vanished from the deck. In that regard, I'll admit it was a lazy trick. 5 years ago, I would have been more artful with the setup, if only for my own entertainment. But this trick was all about the reveal. I went over to my duffel bag of gear and removed a circular target made of styrofoam, 8 inches in diameter, handed it to Lou, and told him to hold the target high above his head with both hands. I asked him to choose a number between 20 and 40. 100, he said. This was why I preferred women volunteers. They did what I asked them to do. They understood that if they played along for a while, they might just get to see something amazing. "You're gonna ruin the fun here, Lou," I said. "Okay, fine," he said begrudgingly. 20. I removed a tape measure from my pocket and unspooled it until it measured 20 feet. Returned the tape measure to my pocket. "Keep the target up high," I said. "Both hands. That's right." Then I asked him for another number between 10 and 20. He watched me a moment. 20. I counted off cards from the deck, letting each card float to the floor. I dropped the rest of the deck. Now I was holding only the 20th card. Slowly, I turned over the card and showed it to Lou and the audience, not looking at it myself, making a big deal out of saying, "Is this your card?" "We both know you didn't really mess up," he said. Right, I thought. It's called playing along. It's called a performance. "You're saying it isn't your card?" I asked. "I'm saying you already know it isn't." In a moment, I was supposed to whip the card into the center of the target above his head. The card would travel fast enough to lodge in the styrofoam, at which point my volunteer would pluck it out and show everyone that it had transformed into the selected card. "Just hold very still, please," I said. Lou grinned and jerked the target a full foot to the left. "And that would be the opposite of holding still," I said, trying to keep things light, though I felt dampness in my armpits and along the backs of my knees. He centered the target again. "Much better," I said. He jerked it to the right. The 8-inch target was an effective stage prop, but I could have hit a target half the size from twice the distance, provided that my volunteer stopped fucking moving it. "Stillness, Lou," I said, struggling to remain calm. "Stillness is everything." "You must be a real delight in the sack," he said. A collective intake of breath from the room. They were amused, though, not aghast. This was classic Lou. They were witnessing the story they would tell tomorrow. I understood the impulse to want a story, to claim it. Still, I didn't want this diversion to be all they walked away remembering. "Too bad you'll never know," I stage whispered. Banter, I reminded myself. That's all this was. "Now just tell me your card," I said. That was all Lou had to do. Then I would reconfirm that the lone card in my hand wasn't his. Then I would hurl it at the styrofoam target, and the magic would happen, and we could all move on. "Ace of spades," he said. A lie. He had selected the 3 of diamonds. I knew because I had forced it on him at the start of the trick. The audience tittered uncomfortably. They'd seen the card just after he selected it. They knew he was lying to me. They knew it wasn't banter.